All right, we'll move on this morning to our next coach. That's the head coach of the Charleston Southern Buccaneers, Jamey Chadwell. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Mark. How are you guys today?
Doing fine. Congratulations on your win last Thursday over ETSU, 47-7, to move to 2-1. Heading down the street to local rival, the Citadel. If you can open up, talk about the win over ETSU, then we'll start taking questions and talking about the Bulldogs.
Well, it was a nice win for us. We got off to a slow start. Second quarter, we were able to put the game in our favor, scored, I think, 34 points in the second quarter, and was able to play a lot of young people in the late third quarter and fourth quarter. So it was good on both ends. One, to get a win. Two, to let some guys that maybe have not played much that we're hoping to count on as we go into, getting into our conference play and all those things, need to get them some experience. So I was pleased with that. We started Kyle Copeland in the game. Austin was still a little banged up. Him and Ben Robinson missed the game completely. So we had some, Kyle got his first start here in a couple years and thought he performed pretty well. And we had still some inconsistencies that we need to improve, namely our kicking game. We missed a couple field goals and an extra point. So that has been our challenge this week, and really just the whole year of trying to find some consistency in that point. As we go forward and obviously play a great team down the road, and then as we get into the Big South play, we're going to need to be able to make some kicks if we're going to try to win some games. So excited to be 2-1. Obviously, we have to do some work to get better as we're going forward, but we're looking forward to this week. It's a good week for our city, trying to create a rivalry down the road, Big South versus the SoCon, and the importance of that, and just the importance of trying to have bragging rights in the city here. So our guys are excited about this upcoming week.
All right, thanks, Coach. At this time, we'll start taking questions for Charleston Southern head coach Jamey Chadwell. To ask a question, please press *1 on your phone at any time, or click the Q&A link near the top of your browser. Click raise hand if you join us via the web. While we're waiting for a question to come in, talk a little bit more about the rivalry with the Citadel. You personally are 2-0 as the head coach there at CSU against them. 2 wins by a total of 5 points. Just what you've seen from on tape so far this year, and obviously your experiences the last 2.
Well, what makes the game unique is you have a lot of rivalries that are in-state rivalries. Obviously, we're in city. We're 15 miles apart. We don't have the tradition and the history and the legacy that they have in their program, and we've not played that many times. I think this might be the 9th game that we've played in the history. But fortunately for us, we've been able to pull out a couple of games the last 2 years, and I think make them put a little bit more emphasis on the game. I think our people have always looked at it as a rivalry or as an important game, and just never been able to really compete with them on a consistent basis to make it into a game that people want to see, how the game turns out. And getting wins last couple of weeks, especially last couple of years, especially at home last year. That's the first time they'd ever came here. That was just big for our school and our community. And so I think that's what's made it into an exciting game. I know they're looking forward to it as well as we are. And then you look at them this year; they played really well. They beat Western Carolina, who was a top 25 team and voted first or second in their league, and they really handled them well. And Georgia Southern, who we all know how good they are, they score didn't indicate really how well they played in that game. They had some turnovers early to let it get out of hand, so they're much improved from what they were last year. They present a challenge to you because of what they do on offense and some things they do on defense. So it's going to be another tight game. And hopefully it's probably going to come down to kicking game. That's why we've been working on that like crazy. But it's going to be a fun atmosphere down here, and should be a good crowd down there. And it's a big challenge for us to see how far we've come in our short time here in the three games that we've played, and the things that we've had to work on to get better at.
All right, Coach. Thanks very much. We'll now move to questions for you. Please again, press *1 on your phone at any time, or click the Q&A link near the top of your browser. Click raise hand if you join us via the web. And first question is for you, Coach. I believe it's from Jeff Hartzell of the Post-Courier.
That's correct. Hey, Jamey, how are you?
Hey, Jeff. I'm doing well. Thank you for the question.
As far as I know, Charleston Southern and Citadel don't play next year. What are your hopes for the future of this team?
Well, I would like to see. I'd like to see it be a yearly rivalry. My hope is I'd love to get the mayors involved of North Charleston and Charleston there, and make it out to a trophy. Have a little trophy game and make it a yearly rivalry. And whether it's the first game of the year or whatever it may be, because I think it's good for, one, our city here. I think it's good for our state and FCS football to have two programs that are solid programs across the Southeast and hopefully eventually across the country. I know that's what we're trying to do, and I know Coach Houston's trying to do the same thing. I just think that anytime we can play each other, it just brings more notoriety to our city and what our city is able to accomplish with the two football programs here. So I hope that we can continue it going down the line. I know it's not on next year, and I've not heard if it's going to be after that. So, but let the ADs and presidents get together and figure that out.
And Jamey, I wanted to get your thoughts on Evan McField, the Citadel's fullback. I'm sure you looked at him when he was at Goose Creek and seen him on tape this year. What do you think of the job Evan's doing so far?
Well, he's doing a phenomenal job. I mean, I know the people in Statesboro couldn't tackle him, and they got a lot more scholarships than us. So we're going to have a challenge. I can tell you that right now. He's played really well. He obviously comes from a great high school program, ran something similar, and they've done a good job with him, down the road. So something that I won't say you're not prepared for, but just the way he's exploded on the scene is impressive for him and what they're doing. So that's going to add another challenge for us, trying to stop their slots, and then the quarterback, and then with him and the way he's rushing the football and just really punishing people the way he runs the ball. I know that's caught the eye of our defensive players and also coaches. So that's probably the biggest challenge that we've had this year as far as run game wise for us to see if we can step up and try to slow them down.
I remember last year's game as really a hard-hitting, physical affair. Do you expect the same thing Saturday?
I believe so. We try in our program to have that mentality as far as trying to be physical, try to be as punishing as you can be. If they do the same thing you watch on video, that's what they're about. They're going to try to get after you, be feisty, and make it into a physical game. And so I think both programs are similar on that. I think our mindsets are. So I expect it to be another fourth-quarter battle. The weather looks like it's going to be interesting, so it's going to be one of those sloppy games, and it's going to come down to what it did last year. Last year, it basically was turnovers, and whoever doesn't turn it over is going to have the best chance to win, because that's been the key the last 2 years is turnovers, and hopefully we won't turn it over again and get them to put it on the ground a couple times, because that limits their possessions and that gives us more time to try to put some points on the board. So I'd say both teams will need to be in the training room on Sunday after the game after this one.
Jamey, I appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you Saturday.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff. And Coach, I'll wrap up with just one more question. A couple new guys we saw on the field, Alan Barnwell, Mike Holloway, just how they looked after missing the first couple games.
Yeah, it was good to get Mike back. Obviously, Mike's been a consistent player for us here the last 2 years, and came off a team suspension there the first 2 games, and did a good job getting us in the end zone. Alan joined us last spring in the spring and got hurt during fall camp. Played very sparingly versus Troy, and this was the first week that ETSU was the first week that he'd been back 100%. Both those guys bring us an added dimension of speed that we really didn't have the first couple weeks, and when they get the ball in their hands, they can really do some good things with it. It was good to see Alan get some extended carries and get in the end zone. He's worked hard to try to get himself back to being healthy, and we're going to need him and Mike to perform at the level they're capable of for us to have a chance to put some points on the board and win some games that we feel like we have a chance to win. And they both have just explosive ability in and out, running the ball, but also out of the backfield. So hopefully you'll see those guys get more and more carries and get more and more opportunities to do something with their offense to help us put some points on the board.
All right. I'm not seeing any more questions for you, Coach. So we'll go ahead and let you go, but appreciate you joining us. And good luck Saturday at the Citadel.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right.